Well, welcome. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight on our special health talk. And we're going to be focusing on cancer and the immune system and how we can just give our bodies the best nutritional support. And I just also want you to know that, we will never claim to cure a disease, cure cancer. But boy, there's so much research out there just to help people understand how food and diet play such a key role and just keeping your immune system strong and staying away from processed foods and choosing good quality supplements to give your body the best line of defense. And I'm so happy that we have Maryellen with us this evening, our holistic nutritionist who is traveling a lot. So it's when she's around, it's great to have her on board. So I want to thank you, Maryellen. And we are going to be just zeroing in on the immune system, which is our first line of defense against everything. When I looked at Neolife over 35 years ago, I had a very, very weak immune system. I was working long hours, working shift work on the police force, just being tired all the time and allergies. And I was using antihistamines pretty much year round. I even slept with Kleenex in my nose, guys, and that's not very attractive. But the more I learned about the immune system and nutrition and some of the foods that I should be focusing in on and cutting back some of the sugary foods, even things like muffins and things like that, the difference in my immune system was incredible. So I got so excited when someone shared Neolife with me. It was more for health, and the difference in my health and my mom and my family was incredible, especially because the whole food supplements to fill the gap that was missing in my diet. So I'm looking forward to sharing this as we go on and journey through how to strengthen our immune system. But let's talk a little bit about the causes of cancer. So cancer is a mistake cell that is growing out of control. We always hear that cancer starts at the cellular level. An excess of free radicals in the body, poor nutrition, and excess or deficiency of nutrients. So really, you are what you eat. Poor lifestyle choices. Stress can also be a factor. Sedentary lifestyle, toxic burden, breakdown in the immune system, and sugar. Now, what is a free radical? So this is a little more techie, and then I'm going to give you a visual after, because I'm more of a visual person. But in the process of creating energy within the furnace or fireplace of a cell, so picture a cell, occasionally a charged oxygen molecule is created called a free radical. And a free radical, an oxygen molecule that has at least one unpaired electron in its outer orbit. This literally gives the molecule an electrical charge, which creates a very rapid movement as it tries to find an electron from the tissue around it. If it is not readily neutralized by an antioxidant, we're going to be talking a lot about antioxidants tonight, it can go on to damage the cell wall, vessel wall, proteins, fats, even the DNA nucleus of the cell. So we're going to be focusing on cellular nutrition, how to get your cells healthy, how to protect your cells and keep your cells strong. So what is a free radical? Well, there are many things that increase the number of free radicals you produce. So excessive stress, excessive exercise. This is something that is really important to understand, because even good things, right, can cause challenges to your body. Pollutants in our air, food and water, sunlight, radiation, medication, cigarette smoke, and medical and scientific literature has shown us beyond a shadow of a doubt that the root cause of over 70 chronic degenerative diseases is a result of oxidative stress from excessive free radicals. And an antioxidant has the ability to repair a free radical by giving up the electron so tissue is not harmed. Antioxidants protect healthy tissue and leave cancer cells more vulnerable to damage from chemo and radiation. So a visual. What happens when you cut an apple in half, right? It turns brown. It's called oxidative damage. So the free radicals in the air are literally causing the apple to rust, okay? Just like the metal on a car, right? If you don't protect the metal on a car, oxidative damage, the metal breaks down. So when we breathe in oxygen, when we breathe in free radicals, this is what's happening to our cells within. Okay. So when you squeeze a lemon on the apple or even a banana, it protects it. It doesn't turn brown very quickly, right? And metal on a car, what do? They coat it with a protector to prevent the oxidative damage. Okay. So our body inside works just like the apple and just like the metal on a car. So the three pillars of immunity are prevention, recovery, and healing. And the nutrients that help to protect our cells come from our food. Okay. Phytonutrients, which are plant nutrients, lipids and sterols, which are good fats that we're going to be talking about, omega-3, which is another good fat that reduces inflammation, probiotics. So you've got that gut health going on, vitamins and minerals, and antioxidants. So these are all the key nutrients that protect your cells. So your cells need protection. Every cell takes over 10,000 hits a day from free radicals, and athletes way more because they're breathing in way more oxygen. So when your cell is unprotected, so if you have a diet that's low in fruits and vegetables, your cells are constantly being hit. Free radical damage is the enemy that speeds up the aging of our cells. Protecting your cells is the key, and that's where the nutrients that are found in your fruits and vegetables. So that's why it's so important to consume foods, especially that are high in fruits and vegetables. So when you're looking at our cells, cellular energy with the cell membrane needs to be healthy. So even though, we've got these cells going on and we're protecting ourselves, but if the membrane of the cells are unhealthy, nutrients aren't getting in and waste isn't getting out. Grain oils are the building blocks. Okay, these oils surround every cell membrane. It's the structure for your brain, your nerve function, hormones. These grain oils are critical to keep that cell membrane soft and permeable so your cells can function and protect themselves. But guess what? Our grains are no longer whole. Our grains are destroyed. They mill out all those essential lipids. Those good fats are gone. We can no longer get them in our diet anymore. Years ago, they used to grind the wheat, make the flour, make the bread, and our breads had a day shelf life, right? Now, how long do our breads last? Weeks, cereals last years, and pasta lasts forever. So they have milled out these critical oils from the grain, all the important nutrients, and you're left with this kind of starch, flour, protein, gluten. And so many people today have sensitivities and struggle with some of these flour or bread products. And it's unfortunate. It's because what man has done to wheat. It's not the wheat from its natural state. So Maryellen, maybe you can give us an overview on what's happened and what's happened with grains and other things that are going on in our food and our environment.
Yeah, thank you, Nada, for asking me to share. I was actually introduced to Neolife 30 years ago, and I got involved because my son had a lot of respiratory issues. And again, once he got started on the products, not that it cured his disease, but once his immune system got stronger, his allergies, went under control, and he wasn't susceptible to flus and colds. So his asthma was actually put in remission. So, and myself, when I was introduced to Neolife, I'd gone for my yearly physical, and I was diagnosed with cervical dysplasia, and that is like a pre-cancer condition of the cell and of the cervix. And what happens usually is they want to do laser surgery or cryotherapy, or they have different very invasive ways of dealing with it. And I remember I came into Neolife and I talked to, I think it was Annalise at the time, and she said, Maryellen, you got to get your immune system stronger. You got to take lots of carotenoids and do a candida cleanse. So I thought, well, what do I have to lose? I'd try it. I can still go and do all the medical, like I was supposed to go for, I went for like a biopsy and it showed that it was positive. So I was supposed to go for treatment. So I said, hold off the treatment and let me try it. Well, I did it for 2 months and I went back and it was completely reversed. And I've never actually had the surgery or anything. And I get checked all the time and I'm totally fine. And the nice thing is too, is I've shared this story with many other women who have had this and they've had very, very positive results too. So that's pretty exciting. And I think what was happening was because I had bad allergies, and look at what our food is. Like, you think before processing of the grains, we had real food. And there was natural fermentation. Things weren't like a lot of our cheeses are actually, it's a chemical that they use in North America, where in Europe, they'll actually use natural fermentation for cheeses. People and animals ate real food. Things were grown locally, ripened naturally, and they were harvested close to the time of eating. You think now things are transported all over the world into our grocery stores, unprocessed. Grain was stored in its whole form until it was needed, right? And then they grind it and make the flour right before you ate it, not like today. And when you look at even our fruits, like you think in 1980, you could eat one orange. And today you have to eat 8 oranges to get the exact same amount of nutrients, because there's 27% less calcium, 37% less iron, 21% less vitamin A, and 30% less vitamin C. And that's because of soil depletion in our crops. Things are not grown the same way they used to be many years ago. And so why do we need to supplement? Well, because of what we talked about, the soil demineralization, food processing, the fact that food travels thousands of kilometers, and genetically modified organisms. This all affects everything that we eat. And our soils now are fertilized with only 3 minerals: nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. But in nature, there's over 40 different minerals in the soil. So it's very, very different. And so what is a GMO? Genetically modified means they cross the genes of a plant with the genes of another organism, either from plants or animals. Like I know a soybean has like a bacteria gene, a mouse gene, like it's just so scary what they're doing with our foods. And these are banned in Europe. So there is absolutely no GMOs, but it's all over North America. So GMO seeds are used with the promise that they yield more crops and in larger sizes. They're supposed to be more resistant to frost and bruises, for example, to make color, size, etc. more appealing. So they want the vegetables and fruits to look better. So the shelf life is longer, things don't rot. But is that natural? And they're also resistant to all chemicals. So pesticides, herbicides, and insecticides can't be sprayed without killing the crops. But the scary thing is, every year the pest is becoming more resistant. Nature's very smart, it mutates, right? So, and all of this is done in the name of profit, not our health. And when you kind of look at, many people's fridges kind of look like this, especially our university students for sure. But it's just like I look at people's grocery carts. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. And oftentimes that's exactly what they're full of, like, all the time, right? So this is not what we want our fridges to look like. We want our pantries and our fridges to look like this. You want to have lots of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, natural spices. That's what's going to keep us healthy. But when you look at supplementing, there's so many products out there. I know when I took my holistic nutrition course, it was overwhelming. But a lot of people think just because something's in a store, it's safe. Well, it was kind of interesting because researchers found between the years of 2007 and 2016, they tested 776 products that were supposed to be dietary supplements, but they had hidden active ingredients that were unsafe or unstudied. So that's pretty scary. And a lot of people buy their supplements on Amazon, and FDA finds hidden drugs in nearly 50 dietary supplements sold on Amazon. So, you have to be very careful of who you buy your supplements from. And that's why when I looked at Neolife, I remember asking my friend who introduced me, like, what makes this different? She said, all I know, it's been around since 1958. And you think they've never had a dietary recall. And it's made from whole food, and I'm not sick and tired anymore. And the fact they have a pharmaceutical license for manufacturing, this is not required, but Neolife takes this extra step. And they're actually established in over 50 countries around the world, and they meet or exceed the health standards of every single one of those countries. And that's quite an accomplishment. And the whole philosophy is based in nature and backed by science. So when people ask me, what do I look for in a supplement? Just because it's natural is not natural, can be anything from the ground. As you can see, algae, pine bark, fungus. What you want to look for is whole food, because that's what that's what our bodies recognize. And Neolife uses like whole grains, fruits and vegetables, like everything is safe use, things that have been in their diet forever, and everything is non-GMO. I know Dr. Fursat, when the GMO started coming in, he said we got to protect the right from the seed stock, so they know that there's absolutely no GMO ingredients in any of our products, and they're actually do transgenic testing to make sure. So they test every ingredient. And the reason that Neolife has this high quality is because of the Scientific Advisory Board, which was founded by Dr. Arthur First. And as you can see, these are world-renowned scientists and nutrition experts that are involved in the research and development of the products. And they're all published. They are very well respected and very well known in the nutrition industry. And Dr. First, who founded the board, he actually was the co-founder of oral chemotherapy. And when he was doing his research in cancer, he found nutrients in food that prevent disease. And that's why he joined up with Neolife in the 1970s. And as you can see, like he is a PhD in chemistry from Stanford. He's a doctor of science from the University of San Francisco and a diplomat of the Academy of Toxicological Sciences. This is actually a distinction held by less than 100 scientists around the world. So this is why our products are so clean, because of, like the knowledge that he's put towards in founding Neolife products. And one product he introduced was Beta Guard. And he actually developed this to guard our health in the world of environmental and free radical challenges. And as you know, toxins are a big trigger for cancer. So this is why this is so, so important. And he actually wrote an amazing article, How to Stay Healthy in a Toxic World. And he talks about how these nutrients, these minerals help the body not to absorb toxins. And this product was designed to play an important role in detoxifying the body from heavy metal exposure. And it actually helps remove the long effects of chemotherapy. Because although he was a co-founder of chemotherapy, he knew chemo sits in the body for hundreds of years. And there's a picture of Dr. First with Nada and myself. The nice thing is the Neolife scientists come right out in the field. You get to meet them, talk to them, ask them questions. And this was at one of our conventions where we got to spend some time with him. And another important fact is, are the products independently tested and published in peer-reviewed journals? And as you can see, Neolife products are published in numerous journals, including the New England Journal of Medicine. So Nada, do you want to share how Neolife is a solution to our nutritional gaps with our Pro Vitality?
Absolutely, especially when you look at, the amount of fruits and vegetables we should be eating and why we can't get these grains and these oils in our diet anymore and our fish isn't clean. This is an incredible product to fill the nutritional gap. It just gives you a little bit of everything that you're just not getting enough of. And the Tran Brain Concentrate is what founded Neolife in 1958. And it contains those essential lipids from whole grain. But you know what's really nice? There's less gluten than a bowl of gluten-free cereal. So if you have sensitivities to gluten, this is an incredible product. We even have celiac clients that take it and they are thriving with this product. And it was developed for hospital research study with people that were suffering with fatigue. It helps to promote cellular energy and efficiency. This is the first product that I started taking 35 years ago. Made a huge difference in how I felt mentally, emotionally, and the energy, and also my PMS. Incredible for hormones. But let's talk fruits and veggies, because I know that was one of the things that, when we were talking about antioxidants and rusting from the inside out, well, it's recommended that we eat about, 9 to 13 servings of these dark colored fruits and vegetables every single day. And I think it's a challenge for most people. I try to achieve that every day, but it's hard. And that's why this one little capsule carotenoid that's in this vitality pack, it's made from carrots and tomatoes and spinach and apricots and peaches. And even just one of these will impact your life. And the USDA researchers, they proved that it'll boost your immune system 37% in 20 days, published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition and presented at the New York Academy of Sciences. So again, one product to help to protect you from oxidizing, so from rusting from the inside out. And then when you're looking at inflammation is a root cause of many diseases, even cancer. So Our fish oil has all 8 omega-3s tested for 200 contaminants with an allowance of 0 and clinically proven to reduce inflammation 68% in just 8 weeks. So that's why they put this convenient little pack together with a multivitamin. We call it a Cadillac of multis, again, just to fill those the nutritional gap. So again, 1 box in 1 month is like consuming 12 pounds of whole grain without the gluten, 80 pounds of raw fruits and vegetables, and 10 servings of omega-3 fish in every single box. So fantastic for, again, just to fill those nutritional gaps. And then when you add a protein, our protein shake to this pack, we call this a breakfast solution. And, protein, it's so important. A lot of people think, oh, it's just about, muscle building and weightlifting. It's not. Protein, a complete protein like the Neolife shake that has all 22 amino acids. It helps with digestion, right? Aids in digestion, fights infection and disease, hormones, collagen in your skin, helps to control blood sugar levels. But guess what? Protein makes T cells, and T cells are cancer fighting cells. So this is why this is such an important add-on to that vitality pack and why we call this a breakfast solution. So from a prevention standpoint, that is a great solution to start with. Very simple, and the shakes taste absolutely amazing. My kids grow up on it. There's nothing artificial, no high fructose corn syrup, no Maryellen. These are your grandkids. My kids grew up on this product. They loved the chocolate when they were little. And now they do all kinds of funky things and put bananas and peanut butter in the chocolate. I mean, you can make it taste so great. You can even hide spinach in the chocolate. It just makes the chocolate more murky, but great way to disguise some of your greens, especially if your kids have a challenge with eating some of those leafy greens. So, and it tastes absolutely fantastic and easy to digest. But what are other things that we can do, Maryellen? So we've had the breakfast solution. We have these nutrients to fill the gap. We also need to look at other things that we're doing.
That's so true, Nada, because you have to have a good lifestyle. I always say health is kind of like a pie, right? The more pieces you have, the more complete it is. So some of the things we can do that definitely help, like exercise and meditation, which reduce stress, because stress is very oxidative for the body. Positive thinking and journaling and prayer is very calming for the body. Watching feel-good movies, they've actually proven that laughter does boost the immune system, which is surprising. Forgiveness. Don't hold grudges. Forgive people, write it down, burn it, and release it, because that burns inside of you and creates negativity. If you need forgiveness, talk to the person, say you're sorry. If they can't forgive you, that's okay, as long as you did your part and ask for forgiveness. And enjoy nature, get away for periods of time without electronics, like walking in the trees is wonderful for the immune system. And as you mentioned, eating lots of those dark color fruits and vegetables. Organic if you can, or for sure washed with the LDC, even if they are organic. Make sure your water is clean, filtered water, and be careful of plastics, because although they put chlorine in the water to kill the bacteria, we have to remove it because chlorine is oxidative. Avoid processed sugar, it feeds cancer. I think a can of Coke has 10 to 12 teaspoons, and it actually could reduce the immune system by 50%. So it's very scary. Dairy, be cautious with it. If you are going to use it, at least be organic and clean dairy. Meat should be grass-fed. It's higher in omega-3s if it is organic and hormone-free. Plant protein, seeds, nuts, hemp seeds, chia, beans from the dry state, fruits and veggies are all great sources. And avoid alcohol or have it in moderation, because it has been proven to cause cancer. And when you look at some of the targeted solutions, Nada talked about the core, and that's our breakfast solution. But when you're really dealing with more serious issues or wanting to boost your immune system, it's very, very important to do things that reduce inflammation, because that is definitely a trigger for cancer, and oxidation, which Nada talked about, our cells getting destroyed. So how do we do that? Well, what an amazing pack is our phyto defense. So Nana talked about the carotenoids, which is the 3 black capsules you see there. So they actually put 3 of them in this package with all the benefits. Then there's also 2 flavonoids. Flavonoids are water-soluble antioxidants, and sources like green tea, cranberries, kale, beets, elderberries, grapes, red and black, oranges, lemons, grapefruit. And they protect the watery part of the cell and again prevent oxidative damage to the cell. And then the last green tablet there, that's the Cruciferous Plus. And the Cruciferous is amazing because it's derived from all those smelly vegetables, things like broccoli, radishes, kale, black mustard, brown mustard, watercresses, oranges, licorice, soybeans. And what they do is they detoxify the cell. And they also help neutralize bad estrogen. So they're very, very powerful. And as you can see, like, we do eat broccoli and radishes, but it's hard to eat all of those vegetables at once. So it's nice that you get all the health benefits from all of them in one tablet.
I remember Dr. First saying how they play a critical role in preventing hormonally mediated cancers.
That's right. And
And that's
that's why
what's
they say you should have one cruciferous vegetable a day. Most people have one a week. That's kind of what the stats are showing.
Mhm.
And another very powerful are the polyphenols, which reduce free radicals and inflammation in the body. And everyone's heard how good it is to eat blueberries and black currants and elderberries, red grapes, bilberry, white grapes, and cranberries. They're all super powerful. Again, water soluble antioxidants to protect the cells. And you can find all of those amazing fruits in our tray. These antioxidants are polyphenols, which reduce free radicals and inflammation. So they do both with the tray. You just drink 1 ounce a day. It's not a juice, it's like a power-packed nutritional essence, very powerful. And another nutrient that is very important for immunity is vitamin D. And in North America, we are notorious to be low. So I always recommend people get their levels tested. And you want to be in the upper level because it's a very wide range. And Neolife has an amazing proprietary blend of D3 and D2. It's naturally sourced, whole food based, unique plant source combination, and high potency safety and quality insured. And I have many clients, they start taking this and their levels balance out very, very quickly. So it's great. And I'd like to introduce my dear friend, Joan. She's got an amazing story. I met you, 29 years ago now, Joan, I think?
Yeah, 29. Yes. Yeah, thank you for asking me to share my story. My name is Joan Poon. I'm a retired registered nurse. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1992, so that's 32 years ago. And I followed conventional treatment, so I had surgery and chemotherapy. Knowing what I know today, I realized some of the things that contributed to it. Mine was hormonally mediated, so that's more of a lifestyle induced. Things like stress, emotional and physical stress that I was going through. I used toxic cleaners. I didn't think they were toxic at that time, but toxic cleaners, body care products, my diet, and lack of exercise. And one of the big things was I had digestive issues. I didn't even realize that I had problems. So I was open to alternative therapies, and I was looking for something to boost my immune system and my energy level. And that's when I was introduced to Neolife by Maryellen. I was drawn to the science behind the products. And so I decided to give the products a try. And within a few weeks, I felt a huge difference in my energy level. I used to go to bed tired, wake up tired. And I realized it was because of what was lacking from my diet. My immune system got stronger. I didn't get sick as often. And also my allergies that plagued me for years disappeared after a while. So one of the big things for me as a cancer survivor was we tend to worry about recurrence, right? And that having Neolife, being introduced to Neolife, I did the things I could control, like improving my lifestyle and having these clinically proven products. It gave me the confidence knowing that it was reducing my risk of a recurrence. So I'm so grateful to be a 30, now it's 32 this year, I upped the number now, 32-year breast cancer thriver. And I feel better today in my late 60s than I did in my 30s. And now I use Neolife as a platform to help other people, just educate people in terms of reducing their risks of whether it's breast cancer or other cancers and other diseases. So thank you for allowing me to share my story, Maryellen.
Oh, thank you, Joan. It's such an inspirational story. And now we'd like, Heather, could you share your story? You've got an amazing story too.
Yes, thank you very much for letting me share my story. Tonight, we're talking about our immune system and our nutrition primarily. I think of this as our internal armor, but I'm going to share my story about our external armor, which is our skin. So in 1980, I was 26 and I had a dark mole removed from my upper arm. And the next year, a new mole appeared exactly in the same location. So it looked very suspicious. Our first child was only 7 months old, and I had this second mole removed on the advice of my doctor. Well, the surgeon called me the very next day and told me to go back to the hospital immediately because he would have to do more extensive surgery, as tests on the mole showed it to be malignant melanoma. Well, this was in 1980, and I didn't even know what the word melanoma meant. And when I got to the hospital, I realized it was cancer, and I remembered being very, very scared. But the surgeon removed quite a chunk out of my upper arm and the lymph nodes underneath my arm and had a big skin graft from my hip. I had no further treatment and have remained cancer-free to this day. However, I know how serious this type of cancer can be, as my brother developed melanoma on his leg in 2015 and had it removed. He was declared clear of cancer for a year. I actually took him to his follow-up appointments. And then in 2017, it metastasized to his organs and progressed very quickly. He died only 2 months after being admitted to the hospital. So I'm almost 72 now, and having healthy skin is very much a priority for me. I was introduced to Neolife in 1998, and in the past 26 years, I've learned a lot of ways that I can help to reduce my risk of all kinds of cancers with building my immunity, and including reducing the toxins, because we know that toxins enter our body through what we ingest, what we inhale, and what we absorb through our skin. So as Maryellen mentioned, I reduced my exposure to toxins by using Neolife's non-toxic cleaners, this LDC, the Super 10, and G1 for my laundry. I use Nutrient's organic skincare products to my face and neck to promote healthy skin cells. To me, that means they're nourished and can be more protective. I do enjoy a lot of outdoor activities. Here I was on a sailing trip in the Caribbean, and I golf and I walk and wear boats, and I prefer to wear long sleeves and a hat and head for the shade of trees and use umbrellas when sitting outside. I use sunscreen when my exposure to sun is going to be prolonged, and then wash it off immediately when I get back inside. My diet includes lots of fruits and vegetables, of course, washed with LDC. And I do take some nutritional supplements that I know to be particularly preventive and protective, like the Pro Vitality and the Neolife Shake. Phyto Defense is a must, salmon oil and some extra vitamins, and extra 3NN. I remember a seminar by Dr. Ariana Karugi, one of our scientific advisory board members, and she said there are lots of receptors for carotenoids in our skin, since those phytonutrients are very protective for our skin. So I really increase my carotenoid complex, especially in summer. And you can find these in the Phyto Defense and the Pro Vitality. So I've learned so many ways that we can enjoy the outdoors, be as healthy as we can. And I want everyone to feel that way and feel that they can protect themselves even better. So thank you.
Wow.
Oh, thank you, Heather.
Love hearing your story, Heather.
And a key area too for immunity is the gut, right? Because healthy gut equals healthy you. And as you've heard, 80% of your immunity is in your gut. So important. And Neolife has a great 3-day detox, which resets your gut. It cleanses, balances, energizes, and it's only 3 days and very easy to do. And you feel great after you do it. You feel lighter. You can just feel that all those toxins have just flushed away.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you do it is 2 steps. So day 1 and 2, you can eat all the fruits and vegetables you want, no protein, no carbohydrates, just fruits and vegetables. And you take the Neolax, the garlic, and the Beta Guard, which pull all the toxins from the liver, the brain, the cells, everywhere in the body. And then day 3, you reintroduce the shake, and then you start rebuilding the body with the probiotics, the acidophilus. So it actually supports the entire body. And the benefits of doing the probiotics, it strengthens immunity. It naturally guards against infection by improving our innate immunity. It promotes a healthy response to foods in infants and children. So oftentimes you'll find that it reduces allergy symptoms, which is so important, and discourages growth of disease-causing bacteria. And it also promotes colon health and it's been proven to reduce the risk of colon cancer because bacterial enzymes detoxify cancer-causing substances. And I know colon cancer is a big, big issue out there, and we want to support healthy colon cells. I know a friend of mine, she was all worried. A friend of hers had a colonoscopy and ended up with colon cancer. So she said, Maryellen, she said, they say got the cleanest colon they've ever seen, right? So it actually helps protect that. So that's so important.
Awesome.
And Nana, do you want to share about how we can keep our environment healthy?
Yes, I have to laugh, Maryellen, because when I was introduced to Neolife 35 years ago, I didn't even know what the word green meant. And I thought it was kind of an odd thing, with like the yuppie kind of Toronto people buying these green products, right? And man, now, I mean, Heather talked about the importance of, right, the cleaning products that we're using in our home. And I remember when I was using Vim or Comet in the shower, I'd have to plug my nose and clean the shower, and right. And now you can shower with our Super 10. You can clean our shower. It's non-toxic. And my son Jack, when he was 2, he actually drank the Super 10. It was underneath the kitchen sink. And if it had been anything else, I would have been calling poison control. I just gave him a glass of water and off he went. So definitely, and they also save you money because they're concentrated. They're safe for the environment, and Neolife is one of the first companies to go green in 1958, which is kind of cool. Our laundry compound is great. It's free rinsing. You don't have to use any fabric softener. There's nothing left in your clothing. So there's no static cling. And yes, the LDC is my fave, especially for washing fruits and vegetables. I have an old demo here. I did this actually, it was when we were kind of stuck home for a few years. So I did this little demo. So I'm going to play this, and you'll see what the power of the LDC when you're washing broccoli. Product that Neolife developed, and Neolife was one of the first companies to go green back in the 60s. Okay, so our light duty cleaner is one of my favorites because it's to wash your fruits and vegetables. It's also designed for fine washables, but the demo I'm going to use today is to show you how it removes pesticides and chemical sprays off your food. Because as we know, a lot of our food, all our fruits and vegetables are heavily sprayed. So just to give you an example, if you look at the broccoli that's sitting in these glasses, there's a little bit of the LDC, which is very concentrated. So you put about this much cleaner and the rest you fill up with water. I put a little squirt of that in here. And if you can see how the broccoli is actually sinking, okay? Because I put a little bit of soap in there and it's removing the chemical sprays, as opposed to this broccoli, where see how the water is just beating off. So I'm going to do a bigger demonstration using an actual head of broccoli. Cold water, and if you can see you can see the broccoli and the water, you see just beating off. It's beating off because it's sprayed with an oil-based pesticide. So the chemical sprays are not coming off of the broccoli. But if you wash the broccoli, this is just a little bit of LDC in the water, okay? Again, diluted, not constant, not straight. Okay, and you take the water, and you see how the water is actually seeping right into the broccoli and removing all the chemical sprays. So I wash everything: bananas, cantaloupe, all your melons, spinach, kale, all your fruits and vegetables, washed in LDC, greener, cleaner fruits and vegetables that are safe to consume. Thank you. And we even travel with it, don't we, Joan? We just did a road trip to Alabama, and we all had LDC in our purses, right? So yeah, it's such an amazing product. And And it's funny because once you start washing your fruits and vegetables in LBC, you don't want to eat fruits and vegetables that aren't washed in LBC. It does become like a really good habit. So just some final thoughts. A large body of scientific evidence suggests that patients with most types of cancer have much better outcomes when nutritional support is added to traditional medical treatments of cancer. So for example, with Joan, before Neolife, right? She did her treatment, but after making some changes to her diet and adding that nutritional support, she gave her the best chance to build a strong immune system and get her cells healthy. And antioxidants like beta carotene, vitamin C, E, and selenium appear to enhance the effectiveness of chemo, radiation, hyperthermia, while minimizing damage to the patient's normal cells, thus making therapy more of a selective toxin, right? And that was written in Beating Cancer with Nutrition by Dr. Patrick Quinlan. So this is so important. Like, there's so much research out there, pointing towards nutrition. And the amount of antioxidants that you maintain in your body is directly proportional to how long you will live. That was a powerful statement by Richard Coulter, MD, Director of Anti-Aging Research by the National Institute of Health. So yes, the power of fruits and vegetables, clean fruits and vegetables, and good quality supplements will definitely help to slow aging if that's what you want to do. So let's all slow the aging process like Heather. My goodness, Heather, I always say I want to be like you when I grow up, right? Active, all the sports that you do, and the energy to be driving all over the place and building an incredible business. I have to say that you really are an inspiration for many of us. So some of you are probably wondering, well, how do I get a hold of these amazing products? Well, it's free to become a member of our Neolife Club. As soon as you join, you get a 10% discount. You can even get a 20% savings by going on the monthly order. So that breakfast solution that we talked about, or the vitality pack that we talked about, it's a month supply. When you have it coming every month, it doubles your savings. You also get all your shipping back in 6 months. And we have a referral program, whereas if you refer 3 people, yours is free every single month. What a great system. And then we have a promoter level. For some of you that are wondering, what does it take to build this business? Well, in Canada, it's $98 to become a promoter, or $75 in the US, and that unlocks a 25% savings. Now, when I looked at this 35 years ago, I wasn't looking for a business, but I fell in love with the products. I was helping my family and my friends, and I saw this as an avenue where I could leave my police career. So that's where I was at. So I was so grateful that I was able to do that, to start a family, stay home, work from home, and have the freedom and the flexibility. So if you're kind of like thinking, I could use a little extra cash, just reach out to the person who invited you, and we can help you and show you how that can happen for you. But again, if you just want to try the products, give your body the best nutritional support, become a member and give the products a try. So these are the health packs that we talked about, the Vitality Pack and the Breakfast Solution. And we have a weight loss pack as well for those of you that are thinking, I wonder if they have a weight loss solution. Well, we do. So we can share that information with you as well. So again, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. I hope this information was helpful. And, for those of you that have heard this for the first time, I know it probably sounded very overwhelming, but just start with something simple. Start with something simple, see how you feel, and just keep the communication going with the person who invited you. We can guide you as you, journey on your health journey. So I want to thank you, Maryellen. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Joan. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. So I'll stop the recording and open up to any questions that you may have.